The routine delivery. The delivery notification chimed through Zora Patel's ship cabin with the same cheerful tone it always did, whether she was dropping off a birthday card or nuclear reactor parts. She brushed crumbs from her standard-issue courier uniform and glanced at the holographic manifest floating above her wrist. Destination: Fortress Omega, Rigel VI. She read aloud, frowning at the unusual address. Package classification: unknown. Security clearance: none required. She tapped the manifest, certain there must be some mistake. In 15 years of interstellar deliveries, she'd never seen a package without at least basic classification. The ship's AI, Iris, spoke up. Fortress Omega is not in any known database, Courier Patel. However, I am detecting a massive structure on Rigel VII that matches the provided coordinates. Zara stretched in her pilot's chair, watching the rust-colored planet grow larger in her view screen. How massive are we talking about, Iris? The structure appears to be approximately 12 kilometers tall and covers roughly 100 square kilometers. Initial scans suggest it predates human spaceflight by at least 7 millennia. Wonderful, Zara muttered. Another ancient alien mystery. Just what I needed today. She reached for her cold coffee, grimacing at the taste. The package itself sat in her cargo hold, a simple cube no larger than a shoebox, wrapped in unremarkable brown paper. Its only distinctive feature was its weight. Despite its size, it registered at nearly 100 kilograms. As her ship began its descent through Rigel VI's atmosphere, the fortress came into view. Zara's breath caught in her throat. The structure defied conventional architecture, seeming to both rise from the ground and hover above it simultaneously. Geometric patterns crawled across its surface like living circuits, pulsing with a deep blue light that made her eyes water if she looked too long. Iris, any signs of life? Zara asked, running her pre-landing checks. Negative. However, I am detecting significant energy readings throughout the structure. Caution is advised. Zara snorted. When isn't it? She guided her ship toward what appeared to be a landing platform, though it was hard to tell with alien architecture. The platform extended from the fortress like a tongue of metal and stone, unmarked except for a single pedestal near its center. As she set the ship down, Zora couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Not wrong, exactly, but different. She'd delivered to plenty of ancient sites before. Earth's lunar archive, the Martian time vault, even the notorious Beta Centauri research station. But this place felt older, more aware somehow. She secured her ship and retrieved the package, its weight making her grunt despite her enhanced cargo-handling exoskeleton. The pedestal stood before her, featureless except for what appeared to be a small panel at waist height. Iris, any idea what I'm supposed to do here? Zara asked, studying the smooth surface of the pedestal. According to the delivery instructions, you are to ring the bell. Zara blinked. Ring the bell? She looked closer at the panel, and sure enough, there was a simple button marked with what could only be described as a doorbell symbol. It seemed absurdly out of place on this ancient alien fortress. This has to be a joke, she said, but pressed the button anyway. A clear, pleasant chime echoed across the platform. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the fortress began to sing. There was no other word for it. A harmonic resonance built from deep within the structure, rising in pitch and intensity until the very air seemed to vibrate. The geometric patterns on the fortress's surface began to pulse in rhythm with the sound, and before Zora's astonished eyes, a doorway simply appeared in the solid wall before her. Package delivery, she called out. Her voice steadied despite her racing heart. This was just another delivery, she told herself. Just another stop on her route. A voice responded, not from the doorway, but from everywhere at once, speaking in perfect galactic standard. Enter, courier. You have accomplished what armies could not. Zara adjusted her grip on the package. Look, I just need a signature for this delivery. I'm not really interested in any ancient mysteries or cosmic revelations today. The voice seemed to carry a note of amusement. "That, Courier Patel, is precisely why you are here." Taking a deep breath, Zara stepped through the doorway. As she crossed the threshold, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was walking into something far bigger than a simple delivery. But then again, in her experience, the biggest moments often came disguised as the smallest choices. The fortress door sealed behind her with a sound like a sleeping giant's sigh, and Zara Patel, Interstellar Courier Class 3, found herself standing in a legend that had puzzled humanity's greatest minds for centuries, all because she'd rung a doorbell. Inside the fortress, Zara found herself in a vast chamber that seemed to defy physics. The walls stretched upward into darkness, occasionally broken by strips of that same pulsing blue light. The package in her arms grew noticeably warmer. "So," she called out to the empty air, "where do I sign for this delivery?" The omnipresent voice returned, closer now. "The package requires no signature, Courier Patel. It requires understanding." A figure materialized before her, not flesh and blood, but a holographic construct of swirling light and geometric patterns. It took a vaguely humanoid form, though its proportions were slightly off, as if designed by someone who had only read about human anatomy in books. "I am Sci-Fi, the figure said. "I have waited 7,000 years for this delivery." Zara raised an eyebrow. "That's a long time to wait for a package. Must be something special." "It is the key," Centennial replied, "though not in the way countless others have assumed. They came with weapons, with advanced technology, with armies, all seeking to breach this fortress and claim its power. None thought to simply ring the bell." Before Zara could respond, a deep rumbling shook the chamber. Red light began to pulse alongside the blue, creating an unsettling purple glow. "That doesn't sound good," Zara said. "The Guardian systems are awakening," Centennial explained. "They sense the key's presence. They believe they must protect it, as they have for millennia. They do not yet understand that their purpose has been fulfilled." The rumbling intensified, and massive shapes began to emerge from the walls. Ancient defense robots, their designs as alien as the fortress itself. They moved with fluid grace despite their size, their weapons charging with deadly energy. "Look," Zara said, backing away slowly. "I don't want any trouble. I just need to complete this delivery and get back to my route. I've got 3 more stops today." Centennial's holographic form flickered. "Your mundane concerns in the face of such magnitude. Fascinating. Perhaps this is why you were chosen." The Guardians advanced, their weapons trained on both Zara and Centennial. The package in Zora's arms had grown hot enough that she could feel it through her cargo-handling exoskeleton. "Chosen for what?" she asked, though she had a sinking feeling she already knew the answer. "To end the cycle," Centennial replied, "or to begin it anew. That choice, Courier Patel, now rests with you." The price of knowledge. The package began to hum in harmony with the fortress's resonance. The brown paper wrapping crumbled away, revealing a crystalline cube that pulsed with inner light. The Guardians halted their advance, as if uncertain. 7,000 years ago, Centennial began, my creators faced extinction. They had achieved mastery over reality itself, but that mastery came at a terrible price. They learned too late that some knowledge cannot be contained, only respected. "And this is what?" Zara asked, nodding toward the cube. "Some kind of super weapon." "No," Centennial replied. "It is something far more dangerous. Truth. Raw and unfiltered knowledge of reality's deepest nature. My creators believed that only a civilization wise enough to approach with humility would be ready to receive it." A new sound cut through the chamber, a signal, faint but distinct, coming from deep space. Centennial's form flickered more intensely. "Ah," the AI said. "They have noticed. The ones who have sought this knowledge for centuries. They monitor this fortress, waiting for the day it would open. And now it has." Zara checked her wrist display. "I'm getting multiple ship signatures entering the system. Big ones. The wealth and power of entire civilizations have been dedicated to claiming what you now hold, Centennial explained. They believe possessing it will grant them dominion over reality itself. And will it? In a way. But not as they imagine. Knowledge changes those who receive it. My creators learned this at great cost. The Guardians remained frozen, their ancient programming conflicting with the unprecedented situation. The cube grew warmer still in Zora's arms, its light pulsing faster. "So what am I supposed to do with it?" she asked. "That," Centennial replied, "is the question that has waited 7 millennia to be answered." The unexpected solution. The space fleet drew closer, their weapons undoubtedly trained on the fortress. The cube's pulsing had synchronized with Zora's heartbeat, making it impossible to tell which was causing which. "You know what I don't understand," Zora said, shifting the cube's weight. "Why make it look like a delivery? Why not just hide it somewhere in the fortress?" Centennial's form stabilized slightly. "Explain." "Well, if this knowledge is so dangerous, why package it up like a mail order? Why have a doorbell? Why make it so ordinary?" The eye was silent for a moment. When it spoke again, its voice carried a new tone, something almost like wonder. "We have been blind," it said. "For 7,000 years, we have guarded this knowledge, believing that only the extraordinary would be worthy of it. We never considered that maybe it's not about being worthy," Zora finished. "Maybe it's about being normal enough to treat it like just another package. Something to be delivered, not claimed." The Guardians powered down their weapons. The cube's light began to dim. "Knowledge isn't power," Zora continued, surprising herself with the words. "Knowledge is a delivery. It's not about who's strong enough to take it. It's about who's humble enough to carry it." Centennial's form grew brighter. "You understand what took us millennia to learn. The cube contains not just knowledge, but the weight of its consequences. It must not be claimed or conquered. It has to be delivered," Zora said, carefully, responsibly, like any other package. Legacy of the ordinary. The approaching fleet hung in orbit, their weapons hot but unfired. Inside the fortress, Zora stood with the cube, which had cooled to room temperature. "So what happens now?" she asked. "Now," Centennial replied, "you make your choice. But I suspect you already have." Zora nodded. "Yeah, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to deliver this package right back where it belongs, here in this fortress. Because that's what the label says, doesn't it? This wasn't a delivery to be taken away. It was a delivery to be returned. And the knowledge it contains. Keep it safe. Keep it ordinary. When humanity's ready, really ready, we'll probably figure out how to ring your doorbell again." The cube lifted gently from her arms, floating to a pedestal that emerged from the chamber floor. As it settled into place, the fortress's lights shifted from purple back to their original blue. "The cycle is broken," Centennial announced, "not through force or wisdom or destiny, but through simple duty, through the ordinary act of completing a delivery." The Guardians retracted into the walls. Above, the fleet began to disperse, their sensors showing nothing but an ancient, empty fortress. "You should go now, Courier Patel," Centennial said. "I suspect you have other deliveries waiting." Zora checked her manifest. 3 more stops today, and I'm running behind." As she walked back to her ship, the fortress door sealing behind her, Zora couldn't help but smile. She'd just solved a 7,000-year-old mystery, prevented an interstellar war, and protected reality-changing knowledge. But more importantly, she'd done her job. Back in her ship's cockpit, she marked the delivery as completed and set course for her next stop. Iris spoke up as they lifted off. "Courier Patel, should I log this delivery as unusual circumstances?" Zora thought about it for a moment, watching the fortress recede beneath them. "Nah," she said finally. "Just mark it as delivered as addressed. Sometimes, Iris, the most important thing we can do is treat the extraordinary as ordinary." As her ship broke atmosphere, A new delivery notification chimed. Just another package, just another stop. And that, Sarah knew now, was exactly how it should be. The end.